So today we'll be talking about the white savior complex in Avatar as well as in media in general. And after doing a lot of research, it has a lot of strange similarities to a lot of our favorite childhood movies that we'll be getting into later. Now I know based off whatever thumbnail or title I use for this video, a lot of y'all are already hot, so let's just cool down a little bit and let me just give a little bit of a little intro for you guys so you guys understand what to expect from this video, and just, you know, don't get too hyped up just yet. Now, as some of you guys might know, which a lot of you guys do not, because I do not have a big following yet, but if you guys are not following, go ahead and subscribe. I probably should say that right at the bat, right? You haven't even seen my content yet, so let's just hold off on that. But anyways, if you look back on my past videos, I film a lot of videos about Avatar. I've done a lot of reactions, I've done some theories, and I know for some people who've been following me and have seen my Avatar content, I know I said I was going to be coming out with a review for the movie, and you know what? Avatar Way of Water was the movie I was looking forward to the most out of this whole year, hands down. Best believe I was there the first day of the release. I was there seeing it in 3D, probably the best day of the year so far. I must say I was really looking forward to this movie. By seeing the title of this video, don't get it twisted, I love myself some Avatar. I mean, you can look at my room right now and see that I'm a big fan. I've even themed my room after it. I didn't end up doing a review on it because simply I just didn't feel like it. I didn't want to. I didn't feel like, you know, it's something that was for me. I didn't really feel like I really wanted to talk about it on the internet. And to be honest with you, a lot of people who've done video essays and such on this movie have done a spectacular job. They said way more and put it all together better than I ever could. However, throughout this time I've had time to process the movie and look back and kind of reflect on the series as a whole, there are some things that I cannot unsee and I feel like I really need to make content about. I know some people have talked about it, there's articles on it, and I know some people cover it on YouTube, but I also kind of want to say my piece as well. So first off, I want to caution for what's ahead for anybody who might get offended. This is simply my personal opinion and observations. Now don't get me wrong, this video is not going to be completely negative. I will be going over some positive things as well. Thoughts on the Avatar series as a whole. The Avatar series has an overwhelmingly positive message and impact that I feel like is deeper than a lot of people. You know, I think it's pretty obvious, but there's so much to it that I feel like is overwhelmingly positive and that far outweighs the negative things I could ever say about the series. Not to mention there's not a lot of negative things I could really say about it in general. So the colonialism in Avatar is no secret. The humans travel over to Pandora to prepare the planet to be habitable for humans because frankly the Earth has gone to and you know what the humans bring? Everything that pretty much led to Earth's demise in the first place. So basically, there's no respect for the environment, there's no respect for other creatures or human beings or beings in general at all. I think that the first movie definitely shows the dark truths about colonialism that, you know, obviously we are well aware of based off of history in our own time and things like that we learn in school or whatnot. But basically, you know, it's the death, the destruction, to say the least. I think the second movie really shines a light on the blatant disrespect and disregard for nature and the environment in general. I can't lie, you guys know the first and second movie will definitely tug on your heartstrings and you will be crying, but I'm gonna go into a couple examples of what I mean here. You can tell the level of disrespect and just like the fact that they just don't care how their actions impact the environment just based off of even how they land on the planet. Now we saw a lot of this when we saw the second movie, especially them landing on the planet and just how much destruction even that caused in the environment. And I mean that land was pretty much desolated, like it was pretty much all the trees are gone. It was just really sad to see. And also the brutal slaughtering of the Tolkien, I believe I'm saying that right, aka the Great Beast. This reminds me a lot about whales and how people will kill whales for oil and then just pretty much discard the rest of it. And also, like, I think it's called like finning or whatever, where they like cut out the fins of like a shark or a dolphin or something like that. It's pretty much, it just release it and it's just like whatever. That's pretty much a perfect example of how the lack of respect for the environment and for the ecosystem and for animals and creatures in general. So a lot like whales, the Tolkien carry a substance that's actually anti-aging, so it's worth millions and millions of dollars just to get their hands on this. And you see how just evil it was, how they treated the animal, and just like the amount of disrespect, and just like it was just disgusting. It was a disgusting display of just heartlessness, and honestly, it had me crying. I'm not gonna lie, I really did cry. That they drug that scene out, I think, to prove a point, and just like having us look around at the world that we live in and how we treat the world that we live in, as well as animals and so on and so forth. They also don't respect the laws of Ewa. So quickly, I'm gonna go over the 3 laws of Ewa that every Na'vi and any pretty much any creature being on the planet must follow. Thou shalt not set stone upon stone, aka meaning no permanent structures of stone, because of the fact that Everything that comes into the earth must return back to the earth pretty much. And so stone, if you're setting stone upon stone, is not returning back to the earth, which is why they use like whatever structures like wood and things like that for their living and stuff like that, because it returns back to the earth. Just like when they die, they go back into Iowa to the earth, whatever, you know what I mean? And so the next one is, neither shall you use the turning wheel, which means no technology. Every type of technology or whatever type of development of technology always starts off with creating a wheel. We saw that in Star Trek, where they messed up when they went to the planet and the creatures saw the wheel and they started off with the wheel, or something like that. They had like a wheel, and that's how they started off with their development of evolving technology. So it starts at the wheel. That's basically what the law means, is that no creating any type of technology, you know what I mean? Nor use the metals of the ground. Basically digging into the earth that can harm the ecosystem. We saw that they did not give a crap. I feel like this is probably the one that they violated probably the most, aside, well actually no, they violated all of these honestly, but the metal part I feel like is really big, because they also were trying to go and get that stone, the unobtainium. If you guys remember that from the first Avatar movie, that was actually material that they're trying to get, that was actually underneath the home tree that they're trying to get into. This is exactly why Iowa warned against digging into the ground and things like that and using metals. All of these things these humans are doing and violating, pretty much going against everything Iowa stands for. But we know how Iowa is when it comes down to respecting the earth. It will turn against you, and we saw that especially in the first movie during the war and everything. We saw that with the battle when the Na'vi and the humans had that whole big, you know what I mean? The animals basically were teamed up with the Na'vi against the humans. And I think what the biggest thing is that the humans don't understand that they'll never be able to thrive on Pandora, even if they do gain control. Why is this? Because all the things that destroy Earth, they're going to do the same to Pandora. This is why Iowa's laws exist. And as a result of this, after a couple hundred, even thousands of years, they'll be in search of another planet to destroy. So I know this video is about the white savior complex. We get into that. I just wanted to slowly go through this because I feel like these points are very important to make. So these movies follow Jake Sully, who takes over for his brother after his brother passes on. Jake's mission is to take over his brother's avatar, and his job is basically to bodyguard Dr. Grace. Blah blah blah, you know what happens. He gets lost, all this other kind of stuff, and then Neytiri saves him. Skipping ahead, he gets initiated into the society and falls in love with Neytiri. Not to mention, he's supposed to be the chosen one. Remember that part, because we're gonna go back to that. But here's the point. Does any of that sound familiar to y'all? I mean, I probably already know because you already seen the thumbnail and stuff like that. But bruh, it's Pocahontas. Pretty much it's Pocahontas. White man comes to colonize. White man falls in love with native woman. Woman opens him up to her world. Man falls in love with that too. The betrothed, aka the man that she was supposed to marry, is killed. Pretty much, bruh, he's knocked off. Now this is an important note. This is important for y'all to know. Now I did not know that there are articles on this topic until I actually started to do research and compiling notes to start to create this video. Now I do want y'all to know I already come up with this connection with Pocahontas and Avatar beforehand, so it's not like I went out and just copied somebody else's ideas. However, I will be using some of these articles because I feel like they explain a lot of what I was trying to say even better than I ever could, and they make some amazing connections that I didn't even really think about. The links to these articles will be down below, so y'all, I'm not trying to plagiarize anything like that, but they really did make some good points that I really do feel like are valid to mention. All the articles will be down below. Now this is something from the article that I was really just like, bro, this is exactly what I knew I was missing, because I was actually going to start compiling a list of movies that basically have the same type of white savior complex type thing going on, and Atlantis is the perfect example. I loved Atlantis growing up. There's actually something I noticed even as a kid, so I think it was awesome that they added this, because pretty much you're gonna see here that they're pretty much the same exact thing. So one of the biggest connections that Atlantis has to Avatar is that they both have something that the humans need. So Atlantis has the crystal, which is the life source of Atlantis, and also the beings on it. So without the crystals, everybody would die. And also the unobtainium on Pandora. So Pandora in general is a gold mine. The token literally have a substance that can stop aging. That's freaking crazy. Something that humans have desired for centuries and have been searching for lifetimes. Even the energy within Pandora that connects everything and everyone, that in and of itself is like, come on. That's why I say the whole planet is pretty much a gold mine. So we're gonna get into the white savior main protagonist, which is gonna be Milo and Jake. Both of them are outsiders, unprepared and inexperienced. If you guys remember Atlantis, Milo, clumsy, goofy, geeky, just all over the place. Same kind of thing with Jake. I mean, you remember what Neytiri said? You're loud, you're like a baby, you don't know what to do. don't know why I just tried to say that, but that's my favorite, one of my favorite lines from her. She went off, I'm not gonna lie. Both of which evolve into white saviors by the end of the movie. Jake catches on to customs and the language, and even becomes more skilled than other Na'vi. He takes on the Leonatarianics. I don't know what the heck is. I don't know how to pronounce that, but y'all have a picture so y'all know what I'm talking about. He also becomes the 6th Turak Makto. I think I said that right. Turak Makto. I don't know, bro. This language is dope, but I don't know how to pronounce squad, bro. So anyways, from there, he leads them into battle. The Turak Makto, if you guys do not remember, is supposed to be the title for the bravest Na'vi. And not to mention, he's also the chosen one. As for Milo, he's supposed to get close to Kita to get information. He ends up teaching her more about Atlantis culture. Isn't that crazy? Like, this dude knows more about her culture than she does. And he also leads them into battle. So we see that pretty much their stories are the exact same. We also know that Jake wasn't supposed to initiate himself into the Na'vi, community, but he did, and in doing that, he was supposed to get information as well. Now, this is the crazy part. Neytiri and Kita's similarities. Both of them are daughters of chiefs and are also both fierce warriors. Not gonna lie, you guys, how many of y'all had a crush on Kita? Bruh, me too. I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, bruh, I watched the movie just to see her. I'm not gonna cap. To this day, bruh, to this day. We're talking about how it was when Neytiri went to beast mode to protect her family, bruh. That was hot. I'm not gonna freaking lie. Bruh. I'm not gonna lie. I was in love, bruh. When this movie came out, when that first Avatar movie came out, I wasn't old enough, mature enough to appreciate her. But now that I'm older, like, shoot, bro, that's a catch right there. Jake, you done got yourself a catch, no cap. All right, enough of that simping. We got to get back on track. The second point is they both meet their love interest by saving them. Now, Neytiri, the first time she meets Jake, she actually saves his life, because we know he was in the jungle tussling with those little tiger creatures. The first time Kita meets Milo is he's actually injured and she has to save him using the crystal and heal him with it. The last point is they both fall in love. Neytiri falls for Jake while she's teaching him the way of the Na'vi. Kita and Milo bond over their love for Atlantis. She falls in love with him, showing him the kingdom and also their way of life. This other point, which I feel like is absolutely crazy, because it's like, bruh, these two same people, they both lose their fathers due to the conflicts in the story. Neytiri's father is killed during the destruction of the home tree, and Kita's father is killed when Milo's team attacks her people. Now, we can't cap here. We ain't gonna try to cap. We saw how Neytiri was literally gonna leave Jake to die, so she wasn't even playing, bruh. She left him right there to die. And the last point, which I feel like is absolutely crazy, is that they both end up being the heroes at the end. Neytiri kills Miles. Kita merges the crystals to become the new energy source to protect her people. With her power, she saves the kingdom and its people by creating a shield to protect them. Now, we're gonna get into the villains, because I like these two the same people. I swear to God, it's like they copy pasted. The villains here are pretty obvious. They even pretty much kind of resemble each other almost. Miles and Commander Rourke. They're both old military men who are dead set on completing their mission no matter what the cost. They do both ultimately go out fighting at the end. The human teams here are pretty much spitting images of each other. The first we gotta go into is the passionate scientist, Grace and Packard. Okay, these are personally my favorites of both of these movies. They're both tough, funny as hell, and they don't play. Favorite quote from her: "We're all gonna die." I've always loved that part since I was a kid. It's funny to me regardless. I don't care how old I get, how many times I watch the movie. Both of these people are funny. And then my favorite quote from Grace: "I've got to get samples." Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I think I butchered that quote, but you guys know what I mean. Her and them samples, bruh, freaking hilarious. Even though, sad part, she does die for the samples because she goes to Iowa. Now we're gonna go on to the next, which is the bad Latinas, Audrey and Trudy. Both are young Latinas. Both are taking on traditionally male roles. Trudy being a pilot, Audrey being an expert in mechanics. Not gonna lie, I had a crush on her too, and I also had a crush on the actress who plays Trudy. I'm just airing out all my business today, huh? Anyways, both bond with the lead character, Trudy bonding with Jake and Audrey bonding with Milo. Both actually take part in attacking the native people, and then also both switch sides and have a change of heart. Mad respect for both of them. They're actually, I must say, I was really tragically sad when Trudy died. I feel like she didn't need to go out like that. I feel like she could have went out more with a bang. I feel like she went out with respect and just like, you know, she died a hero, but it was just sad to see her go. Honestly, I would have loved to see her in another movie, but you know what? It is what it is. Did you also know that apparently Trudy and Norman had a love thing going on, and they were like supposed to be like a couple, and it was actually clipped out of the original movie? They're actually supposed to be boop together, so that's why Norman was all like he was trying to get air when he left the little thing, because you know his Navi died, but then also she had died as well, and that was also him being heartbroken about it. But apparently, yeah, that was something that didn't make the cut, but they're actually a couple, so that's crazy. I wanted to mention that because I did not know. Honestly, I really hope that we get a full version of Avatar, because there's so much that they took out, and I'm sure there's even more that they took out in Avatar 2, which I'm hoping that we'll be able to see that. If we would have got those clips, there'd be so much more context. So a lot of people out there who talk trash about Avatar, it's all because they had to take a lot of stuff out. Okay, there's so much more to the story that even I feel like we don't even know that was supposed to be in there. And also, both movies end the same. At the end of the battle, some people stay, some people go. In the Avatar movie, some invaders actually chose to stay, and some were actually sent back to Earth. Jake becomes a Na'vi permanently and becomes a leader, and he ends up staying as well. In Atlantis, the humans go back to the surface. However, Milo stays and helps to rule Atlantis with Kita. So, bro, as you can see, spitting images of the same story pretty much, which is why I feel like a lot of people had a lot of trash to talk about Avatar with, because it was pretty much the same exact storyline, the same exact thing. People had a problem with it. As for me, it doesn't bother me too much, just because I feel like there's so much more to the story of Avatar that you can't just focus in on the things that are similar, because I feel like the story is so much more broad and there's so much more value in it that makes it so much different than Atlantis. Both movies, however, I really do love and appreciate for different reasons, and so for me, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just crazy to see how many similarities that there are, and it's like you can't ignore it because it's just right there in your face. So it's no secret that obviously the story of like a white outsider learning and integrating themselves into like a native community and fighting to protect it is a common thing amongst, you know, movies and certain themes and stuff like that. Like I feel like it's a pretty common thing, you know what I mean? Especially in the media, aside from just these two movies. I feel like with this topic you can also delve into different things as well. It really branches off into many different issues within media in general, which is having more people of color in the media in general and lead big roles. Diversity and interracial relationships, meaning more POC interracial couples. I feel like in media in general, usually when you see an interracial couple in like a movie or something, it's always one of them is a white person, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do feel like there's not enough representation of other types of interracial couples. Like when am I going to see like an Indian and black person? When am I going to see like maybe like a East Asian and then West Asian type of like mix, or like just things that we haven't, different interracial relationships that we haven't seen before, or like anything like that. I feel like that stuff is uncommon. I feel like we should see more of that. I feel like in general, I think in the media it's a big issue with it's always being a white person ingraining themselves in another person's culture and not really seeing like other POCs actually doing that. I feel like that'd be really cool to kind of see the culture, you know, coming together almost. And we also need more non-white storytellers and more non-white directors. And all these movies we talked about today, which is Avatar, Atlantis, and Pocahontas, were all written by white people, so it's no shock to me that a lot of these, you know, the white leads would, you know, obviously they'll be white and things like that as well. So yes, I do feel like this points to an even bigger issue. We really just go into different routes with it, really. Of course, I'm sure I might be missing some things as far as like other reasons why this could be the case, but just saying that, you know, as media and stuff expands, a lot has happened since these particular movies I'm talking about have come out, and so I feel like ever since then there has been a lot more diversity and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that that isn't the case. We're definitely starting to see more of a diversity and stuff like that, and different types of things and stuff like that, dynamics and things like that in the media these days. So it's really not that huge of a thing, but we still could definitely see more of it, and there's still definitely more work to be done, more progress to be made. And most importantly, this is my pet peeve with media right now, it's just the fact that The storylines are not really that unique anymore, and it's just like characters I feel like aren't that really unique either. I feel like a lot of times with media and stuff like that, everything just looks the same and pretty much is the same. We're always getting reboots of stuff. It's just like people don't have unique, actually like good unique ideas anymore. It's just like the stuff that we're seeing is very repetitive, and we just need something fresh. We need some new stuff, new content, and stuff like that as well. Aside from the white savior complex issue in Avatar, there are so many things I love about it. The storyline highlights issues in our own society. It shows us the error of our ways and the consequences of it, and also where it's leading us. We saw in Avatar that the Earth has pretty much gone to crap, and pretty much they have to abort the planet because of all of the things that they've done on the planet that pretty much led to its demise. All of which that's going on in our society and our world right now. It shows a world that's opposite of ours and how our world could be and how it should be. In the movie, I feel like you got a glimpse of what things would look like if we just stopped and cared about the environment and the people around us. It literally shows what true peace looks like. Something that seems very like just unfathomable and almost like, bro, I don't think at this point in time, I don't know if we could ever reach that level of peace, but just being able to see in Avatar how these people are just basically in harmony and were able to team up when they needed to defend their planet. That was dope. As you can see, I don't know. And also, it really makes you stop and think of the beauty of our own world and our connection to it, because we are the Na'vi. Think about it. We have our connection to each other and this planet. Just look around you. Look how beautiful our planet is. And really, if you look at even the animals and things like that, he mentions in the movie how they actually had stories, they had families, they're able to connect with each other. We have that same connection that we can make to the plants and animals around us. Plants and animals and stuff like that. Animals really have families, they have stories and stuff like that. We may not be able to connect it with them the way that the Na'vi are on Pandora, but we still have the connection and stuff like that to the world around us. And also just stop and look at the beauty of the earth that we live in as well. And just thinking about the fact that, bro, like, the actions and the way that we live on this earth is really destroying everything that makes this world beautiful. You know what I mean? Animals going extinct, that shouldn't be happening. Pollution in our oceans, I feel like that was another thing as well, just seeing how beautiful, how much respect they gave the planet, and also just like the ocean and stuff like that as well. The only thing that makes us different from the Na'vi is how we choose to operate and live on this earth. One thing I really loved about Avatar 2 was definitely the character development and character arcs. I think one character that really stuck out to me a lot was Miles' clone. We all know that Miles was, knocked off in other movie, but so Miles' clone actually trying to be a father and having some type of like feelings, you know what I mean? Like the dude actually had feelings, and kind of like you could tell that he wanted to make a connection with his son. He wanted to be, kind of a part of his son's life. He cared about him. We also can see this inner battle with like him trying to be this person that he was kind of designed to be, which obviously he's supposed to be, the Miles who passed away. He's supposed to take up, that, you know what I mean? Like he's supposed to take up that mantle and become that person, but he just isn't that person. I think that's going to be something that's going to be interesting to see in the next upcoming movies, is seeing how he's able to go through that. Like, he's just going to decide to just, this is me, this is my new life. This other person, sure, I might be a clone of you, but I'm not you, type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see his character develop over time as well. Especially towards the end of the movie, we got to see how it just really seemed like he was really just like, obviously we see him in his worst beat down state, but I think that going forward, especially with Spider and stuff like that, maybe Spider can kind of influence him to kind of see the Na'vi's way of life, and kind of seeing that this type of life isn't so bad, and maybe seeing that the way that things are done on Earth is actually going to harm the way that things are done on Pandora, and it even will make it really hard to even be able to live on Pandora for a long period of time. Okay, so James and Neytiri have had to become humbled in this new movie, okay? They've had to uproot their lives, and they had to pretty much go and adapt to a new way of life, new customs and things like that, and it was really hard. So they end up having to leave the Matikaya clan and end up having to go and stay with the Metkaina clan, and so that is a whole big thing in and of itself. If you've seen the movie, you definitely know that there was a whole lot of conflict because of the differences in how things are done and how different they look from each other as well, and just not knowing if they'll be able to survive with them on that, and the way that they live their life and stuff like that. So honestly, in that kind of way, it was very interesting to see them, you know, actually having to learn how to hold their breath and learning how to, you know, just adapt to this new way of life, and just seeing how hard it was and how much they missed things back home. Even I missed it. I was like, shoot, I low-key like the Multikai clan way better. I just love just the jungle and just how big it is and just how much there is to get into, and just it's just amazing. I'm not knocking the Metkaina clan. That place, you know, I love the tropics and stuff like that. That's a vacation spot, but as for actually living there, I don't know, it was still pretty amazing, but I could definitely feel their pain and missing their home. Loak and Kira are the two misunderstood characters who end up being the most impactful and actually end up being the heroes by the end of the movie. We see them struggling with fitting in, we see them finding it hard to accept themselves and actually understand themselves and accept themselves, as well as other people finding it hard to do the same. And then by the end of the movie, we see how they are able to embrace who they are and love who they are, and actually learn to try to understand themselves, and actually seeing how the people decide to actually do the same, like they gain other people's respect. Loak is able to gain respect from his father. Kiri is able to get respect from, well, pretty much everybody, especially the outsiders outside the family. There's definitely more to the plot and the characters that I'm not going to delve into for the sake of time and also trying to stay on topic. Trust me, I know it goes way deeper than what I'm saying right now. It was really cool seeing Loak made this connection to the token, because they both felt misunderstood. They both felt like they're outsiders. My little rig up here is I'm exposing myself right now. Y'all didn't see that. I think y'all still see it too. Okay, whatever. I'm not using this mic. The jig is up, okay? It's whatever. Anyways, so I have my little mic taped up here so you guys can kind of see it, but it's whatever. You probably didn't even notice until I say anything, but it is what it is. Another thing that I love about the Avatar series that really just melts my heart is the effort put into culture representation. So a lot of the Navi's culture and stuff like that comes from sub-Saharan African and native culture. This is mainly talking about the Amotikaya clan, and then also the Polynesian culture, which influenced the Metkaina clan as well. So it's really cool to see how they were able to use these cultures to kind of like create like cool little cultures for the Navi that are influenced by, you know, cultures here on Earth and stuff like that. So it's really dope. I don't really feel like it's cultural appropriation in my personal opinion. I feel like it's appreciation more than anything. I don't feel like they really tried to, I mean, they're aliens, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's kind of just like giving almost respect to like these cultures and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't feel like they represented them in a negative light. I don't feel like they tried to, you know, disrespect the culture. I feel like they actually did a lot of research and seemed like they represented them pretty well. I'm not gonna say I know these cultures fully. Maybe I could be wrong, but anybody who knows more about these cultures and feels like you disagree with what I'm saying, definitely comment down below, because I'm open to seeing more of what you guys have to say. It's really cool to see Maori culture in this movie as well, especially seeing the haka and stuff like that. I feel like I'm saying these words so wrong. If I say any of this wrong, I'm so sorry. But anyways, I love Polynesian culture and stuff like that anyway, so it's really cool to see the representation and stuff like that in the movie, and actually like the love for it and how much detail they put into it as well. And so yeah, it was really cool seeing that. I was like, bro, they really went in there. I got chills, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool to see that. Any Polynesians or anything watching this, or anybody who knows more about the culture, please let me know if you feel like they represented it properly or not. I personally feel like it was really dope seeing it and stuff like that, but like I said, let me know. And honestly, I felt a lot of connection, especially to the first Avatar movie. I feel like I feel a lot more connection to the Amatikai clan, just because I feel like they represent more of, you know, like African people, you know what I mean, like in the culture, also Native American culture as well. I'm not saying that, I think it's like a mix of African and also Native culture as well. So I felt really represented, especially like in the hair and stuff like that, and just seeing like the facial features and stuff like that. It was like, bro, that's dope. So I really felt like I was getting represented, and it really warmed my heart to see it. And so I would hope that it wasn't insulting to people of, you know, actually ingrained in the cultures and stuff like that. I would hope not, but for me being an outsider, I really felt like it was cool. I felt, you know, represented in a way, even though I'm not, you know, obviously you guys know what I'm saying. So it's really cool to see the beauty of the cultures, and that's the representation, and just like knowing that they put that effort. You can really see the effort that was put in, and just really showing the beauty and stuff of the cultures. We all know that the Polynesian culture and stuff like that, they really have a lot of respect for the animals and the land and stuff like that, as well as African cultures as well. And just seeing like the spirituality as well, I feel like are very big in these cultures. Native Americans, not Native American, but Native cultures in general just have that respect for animals and the land and each other and things like that as well. So it's really cool to see the respect that they put into like representing like these cultures in like a positive way. In my personal opinion, I feel like they did an amazing job like that. So I'm just gonna abbreviate on what I mean, kind of. So their attention to detail when doing this, I feel like was on point. I also feel like the diversity and representation in the cast was really good. I feel like this kind of goes off the last thing, which is what representing the cultures and stuff. Because at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of upset with the movie at first, because I never actually like looked at the cast really like that. And so when you're looking at the movie, you're seeing a lot of humans, and so a lot of the humans I would see would be like white people. Mainly the majority of them were white people. And then you got Jake, who's a white guy, and you got Neytiri, who's a black woman. But then actually looking at the rest of the cast, a lot of people who were people of color were actually Na'vi. So I know that the mother, which is Neytiri's mother, is a black woman. I know that the chief, which is Neytiri's father, is actually a Native American man. The Metcalfe clan, the chief over there, that is actually a Polynesian man as well, and just like so on and so forth. And then also his kids are actually not white either, so I thought it was pretty cool that they actually did. And even running deeper into the castings, a lot of them are very much people of color. And also Sute, I think it's Sute, right? Okay, anyways, from the first movie, that's also a black man as well. And so at first, you know, I looked at Avatar 2, and the sons who are Neytiri and Jake's sons are white boys, and so I was like, well, why anyway? I'm not trying to cause no problems, alright? So like, even still, you got to keep in mind that these are aliens, they're not real or anything like that as well, so that's also something to keep in mind. And also, I feel like the reason why I came to this conclusion was just, feeling like the cast should represent the culture being represented, is just because I feel like that's just the right thing to do. And I don't know, you know, usually we write, you know, directors and stuff don't really think about those type of things. And so I feel like for us seeing representation, I feel like that's not only just on screen. To us people of color, I feel like that is important, whether or not you're gonna see them actually on screen or not. So that's my stance on it. I get it, they're fake and stuff like that, but for me, like I said before, I do feel a connection to Na'vi to a certain level, because I do feel represented, and kind of a connection as well, because I feel represented personally being a black person and stuff like that as well. So it's really, really cool to see that. And so knowing that also the character, like the person behind the characters also, you know, like me as well, it's like, dang, okay, like, it just hits different. The attention to details, we cannot sit here and try to front like they did not kill it. They create a whole language, an actual language, which is actually based on Maori language, which I think is freaking amazing. Like, you could tell that James, Maori, I got a fanboy, you know what I mean? So like, he actually based the language off of Maori languages. I feel like it's absolutely awesome. You actually go online and learn this language yourself if you want to. Like, it's actual legit language. I'm not gonna lie, I actually told myself I was gonna learn the language, because I mean, you might as well put it to some good use. Apparently they're still coming out with more words and phrases and stuff like that as well. So it's really, really cool to see, you know what I mean? I'm like, shit, I might have to use that and like raise my kids on the language, and we just be speaking to each other. People like, what language is that? I'm like, Na'vi. But the language is actually pretty dope, so it's really cool that they put so much time and energy and effort into this. I believe they said it took them a couple of years to actually come up with the language and stuff like that as well. There's more story, like the story behind Avatar in general is very fascinating, and just seeing how much love and just like time they took on this like series in general, I gotta give them credit for that. See how the Metcalfe clan, their anatomy is different from the Na'vi from the Amatikai clan. Is actually really, really cool. Like, they paid attention to detail, just having to make sure like they had like their arms were thicker, their tails were thicker, and things like that. Their eyes also, just seeing how much attention to detail they actually paid to that as well, because those differences obviously would be pretty evident because of the fact that they live in different environments and stuff like that. And just so seeing that, and then also seeing how their differences also cause conflict as well, was really interesting to see. Also the creation of the creatures and just the world in general of Pandora, so much thought. Like those little stingray thingies that give you oxygen underwater, like come on bro, come on. And even just like all the creatures, all of them, it's just like really amazing to see that they took time and energy to put into these animals and creatures, and just like the wildlife and everything in general is awesome. I cannot wait for them to expand on the world of Pandora, just to see what else is out there. I guess next we're gonna be seeing the Fire Nation. We're gonna get into that theory in another video, but we've got to talk about it. Also, the morals and the spirituality and the culture of the Na'vi, I just feel like it's amazing how it differs, and also it's the same within clans. Even though they're in different parts of the world, they still have like the core beliefs. Seeing that they still have the core beliefs that pretty much match each other is really, really cool. Like, despite them living on different parts of the world and stuff like that, a lot of times at the core of it, their beliefs and stuff like that are pretty much the same exact way. That's why I feel like it probably wasn't that hard for them to adapt into their society, because essentially they all believe the same thing. They just have different ways of life and living. So that I feel like was awesome. Just like the attention to details and all these things, like the whole storyline, the plot, everything in it, the characters, the designs, everything. Like, did an amazing job. James Cameron is out here breaking records, and rightfully so. He's out here breaking box office records and even has surpassed Spider-Man No Way Home, which is crazy because that's probably one of the most anticipated movies, one of the most popular movies coming out this year as well. So that was pretty interesting. It's also been the first part 2 movie to cross 1 billion worldwide in under 2 weeks. 2 weeks worldwide. That just shows you how much impact. And also too, I feel like Avatar 2 didn't really get the hype that I feel like a lot of other movies did. So it's really cool to see that it's had this big of an impact on the entire world, even though it wasn't like pushed, you know, it wasn't like pushed out like crazy like I feel like other movies are. It's also the fastest 2022 movie to reach $1 billion, people, aside from Top Gun Maverick and Jurassic World Dominion, which I'm not going to talk about Jurassic World. They're just tarnishing the Jurassic series, the Jurassic, like, you know, whole series thing. They're just destroying it and just breaking it into bits. It's tragic. Anyways, aside from that, yeah, they did it in just 12 days after opening. They were able to reach $1 billion. That is incredible. That's crazy. And to get this, to see the movie in 3D, I paid like $50, and I got like the premium seats, so you know I gotta do it. You know, I had to do it. It was, the event called for it. Avatar 2, I do not regret it. Those seats, those recliner seats, those comfy seats, we got the best top tier seats, the VIP seats. It was worth it. I mean, trust me, it was worth it. He even beat his own records, his own. So with Avatar 2, he achieved the highest domestic box office opening with 134 million, topping the 77 million, a record that was previously held by 2019's Avatar. So he beat his own record, bro. So he started breaking records. I'm not sure what the update is as of like now. I think this is like maybe from maybe like a week ago, this news. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's probably made even a bigger impact. So I guess it's safe to say that we're definitely gonna be getting more Avatar movies after this. I think that he's seen that people want to see more Avatar content. So I think that he should know by now, we want more. As for what we're gonna get from these other movies, I don't know. I'm slightly concerned based off of theories that I've heard, but since these movies aren't coming out for another like bunch of years, I'm pretty sure a lot of things will change, and a lot of information again probably isn't exactly true. So there's a lot of stuff to sift through as well. So got to keep that in mind. That being said, this has been my personal take. I know this video was about the white savior complex. We kind of went off and I kind of expanded more into different parts and things like that. But I really felt like so I really feel like a lot of information I found, I just couldn't help but to share it. But you know what I mean? Like I said before, I still love Avatar, the series. I feel like it's still amazing. Yes, it's got this little thing that I don't like so much about it. But other than that, I must say I still love it. Still amazing. I can't wait for the next movies. Let me know what you guys think about this video, your thoughts about this topic. Do you feel like the white savior complex in Avatar is that bad? Did I miss any points? Anything like that? What do you think about the white savior complex in media in general? Do you feel like it's a big issue or not? I don't know. Yeah, just drop a lot of what you think. I know we talked about other movies that this movie related to, like Pocahontas and Atlantis and stuff. Do you have any other movies that you feel like Avatar took from that kind of inspired this? I'm kind of interested to see what you guys have to say. Also, I'll be using the community tab more often just so I can communicate with you guys and kind of keep you updated on content that's coming out, or just asking questions of what you guys want to see, or just like fun little things just to get us all involved and create more of like a community bonding type thing. Anyways, not meaning to go on and rant. I know I've been kind of away for a while for you guys who've been subscribed, but I do appreciate those of you who have subscribed. Those of you who those of you who aren't, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to me, guys. And yeah, see you guys next time.